Hello, and welcome to Just Another Booktube channel, where I talk a bit about books I've recently read, covering a variety of genres. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about a biography of sorts that I've just finished, called Andy Kaufman, The Truth Finally, by Bob Zmuda and Lynne Margulies, published in 2014 and is 210 pages long. I've been a fan of Andy Kaufman ever since I saw him do his Mighty Mouse routine back when I was a kid on some television show or another. And I remember finding it funny because of the sheer absurdity of it and Kaufman's seriousness while he performed it. I fell into a Kaufman wormhole a couple of months ago, and I wanted to learn more about Andy the person. So after looking up some books about him, I decided to go with this gem. After all, I thought, who better to tell Andy Kaufman's tale than his writing partner and collaborator, Bob Zmuda? Well, perhaps just about anyone, I guess. This book is not so much about Andy Kaufman as it is about the film The Man on the Moon, starring Jim Carrey, which I have not seen, as well as Zmuda's claim that Andy faked his death and would return some 30 years later, which throughout the book he continues to try and convince the reader of, and which of course did not happen because Andy Kaufman, unfortunately, is dead. He also likes to extol the fact that Andy Kaufman would never have been remembered had it not been for Zmuda and Margulies, which is very doubtful, and in fact the opposite is probably true. This book is more about Zmuda, and while he claims that his books about Kaufman and his continuing to portray Kaufman's character Tony Clifton are an homage to Kaufman, it honestly feels like his efforts are milking Kaufman's legacy for whatever he can get. And Zmuda himself comes off as a rather nasty person, such as when he, as Clifton, at the Playboy Mansion, has sex with a Playboy bunny because she thought he was Jim Carrey in disguise. Zmuda makes no apologies for this, and in fact he's rather proud of this fact, which is a charming thing. What Zmuda seems to miss is that when Kaufman performed, even as the at times awful Tony Clifton, there was always a childlike innocence behind what he was doing, a sense of playfulness and of wide-eyed imagination, that sort of let's see what happens next wonder that kids have when they're playing. And Zmuda instead seems to revel in a darkness and a nastiness that, in my opinion, was not part of what Kaufman was doing in his performances. Now, how much of Andy Kaufman, The Truth Finally, is actually true? Well, my guess is fairly little. This book was an occasionally entertaining read, such as the story of how Kaufman got himself fired from Taxi, and the whole Jerry Lawler wrestling gag that he did via David Letterman's television show. But overall, the book had a disingenuous feel, and it left me with a bad taste. So I will have to find a better book to learn about one of the most interesting performers in the entertainment industry, because this surely was not it. So there you have it, Andy Kaufman, The Truth Finally, by Bob Zmuda and Lynne Margulies. If you are interested in learning about Andy Kaufman, I suggest you look elsewhere. While in this book there are a few interesting bits here and there, on the whole it's rather unappealing. That's all I have for today. Once again, this is Just Another Booktube channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.